Are you having a bad day, a bad week, or even a bad month? Sometimes all it takes is a little unasked for criticism or someone just treating you harshly or doing something you haven't really expected of this person to trigger a negative spiral of yeah negative self-talk, of not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling loved, seen, or heard. Maybe you feel like life isn't really on your side, or that you can never have what you truly desire. Or maybe you are grieving what isn't in your life and what could be. And I really want to say it happens to all of us. No matter how long you've been on your self growth journey, it happens to me, it happens to you, it happens to all of us. It is normal. It is normal, okay? But when it happens, you need to be able to bounce back to self-worth fast. And it's really good to have some ideas about how to do that quickly. That's where this video comes in. Let's dive right in. I have 4 tips for you how to bounce back quickly when something like that happens, when you are in this negative spiral of negative self-talk. First tip, shift into a judgment-free zone. So I know who you are. You are usually a very positive person and you have a positive outlook on your life. But now your emotions seem to be all over the place and you're starting to hate that you cannot control them. And to make things even worse, you start beating yourself up because you should be able to bounce back quickly after all these years of working on your self growth. You should be able to get yourself out of this negative spiral. But judging yourself is a very, very bad approach. It's the wrong approach. Your first focus must be to stop this negative spiral. Stop it from going on. And you cannot stop this negative spiral by adding judgment. It's not possible because judgment keeps that negative spiral going. It's like fuel for this negative spiral. And instead, you need to shift into a judgment free zone. This judgment free zone where you can just breathe and be who you really are. Let the judgment go and instead do something that your intuition might not tell you to do. Accept that you're having a bad day, a bad week, or even a bad month. Accept it. It's not your fault. And it doesn't define who you are. That's important. It doesn't define who you are. Accepting where you are gets you out of resistance pronto. And that's the very thing that allows you to naturally stop the downward spiral and return to a state of well-being, which is, of course, and you know that, it's your natural state. Get out of judgment. Get into this judgment-free zone. Tip number 2, drop the should and embrace imperfection. In the very moment you start using this particularly tricky little word, should, you're telling yourself what a failure you are. Ouch. The shoulds you're telling yourself get you caught up in a vortex of perfectionism that you cannot escape. Should never helps anybody. Never helps anybody. And I invite you to erase it from your vocabulary and instead befriend imperfection, of course. You are perfectly imperfect. And we are all flawsome. And I'm the first to acknowledge my own imperfections. There's no way, zero way to grow and evolve when you cling to perfection. And I bet intellectually you know that this is true. So drop all those shoulds and embrace all your imperfections and those of other people and those of life as well. Accept that life sometimes is simply messy. Third tip, come to terms with the past. And you might expect something else, so hear me out. It is time to separate your actions from yourself. So when you make a mistake, acknowledge it and move on. Reap the lesson from the experience and move on. There is no Zilk Zero again value in getting caught in shame or guilt, victimizing or even villainizing yourself or putting yourself down isn't serving you and it isn't serving the world. So I invite you to look at your past through the eyes of unconditional love as if you're a divine being. Wait a second. That's exactly what you are, right? So forgive yourself and move on. This should be easy for you as a divine being. Forgive yourself, move on. There is so much more out there to experience and explore. And you are not your past, okay? You are not your past. So move on. And here's the fourth tip. Know where you excel. Know where you excel. And this is a super quick fix to restore your self-worth. And I invite you to take a moment to list all the things in which you excel and make a physical list in your journal. Acknowledge your accomplishments. And I bet a close examination of everything that makes you proud of who you are will likely remind you that you are absolutely worthy, that you've always been worthy, and that you will always be worthy no matter what. And I brought a special journaling prompt that helps you bounce back to self-worth quickly. And here it is. What would be missing if you weren't on this planet? And I invite you to write it down. Write down that prompt. What experiences, insights, new solutions, fun, loving moments, unique gifts, and energies would be missing if you, wonderful sister, weren't here on this planet? So that's it. That's those 4 tips. And as always, let me know which of those tips you want to use to restore your self-worth. Which of those 4 tips most resonates with you? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.